videos about behavior, and behavior is defined as the actions or reactions of the living, and behavior usually is instigated by a stimuli, and a stimuli originate from the physical environment or from any other living thing. There are several different types of animal behaviors. One is instinct. It is innate or inherited behavior. And an example of that is for the female parent to take care of their young. And here you could see a giraffe grooming the baby and a duck letting their babies ride on their back. And then we have fixed action patterns. It's innate behavior. It follows a regular, unvarying pattern. And if a bird sees that the egg is outside of the nest, it will put the egg back into the nest every time. There's imprinting. It's innate learned behavior during the critical period, and the critical period is limited time interval during the early life of the animal, and it is usually irreversible. Here you have ducks following the mom and imitating it because that's how it learns what to do. And there's a man named Lorenz who did an experiment on this, and he became the duck's mothers, and they followed him and did whatever he did. There's associative learning, and an animal recognizes that two or more events are connected, and a type of associative learning is called classical conditioning. An animal performs a behavior in response to a substitute stimulus rather than normal stimulus. In this experiment, a scientist named Pavlov used a bell to associate it with dog food. So every time the dog sees or hears the bell, he thinks that food is coming because Pavlov used the bell to signal that food was there. And there's operant conditioning. It's trial and error, and an animal connects its own behavior with a particular behavior. And a man named B.F. Skinner used pigeons, and he would train them to either go in circles or tap on a certain button, and every time they would do that, he would give them a reward. Then there's spatial learning, where animals associate attributes of a location with the reward it gains by being able to identify and return to that location. And wasps use it to locate their nest. They see these pine cones are around their nest, so they think, oh, the pine cones are there, so my nest is there. But if you move the pine cones, the wasp will go to the pine cones instead of the nest because they use the pine cones to find their nest. And then there's habituation, which is learned behavior that allows the animal to disregard meaningless stimuli. And in one case study, there were gulls, and they would hear a tape of another gulls crying, and they would fly away. But after a while, they figured out it was fake, so they stayed instead of flying away. And then there's observational learning, and that is animals copy the behavior of other animals without having experienced any prior relevant experience, perform a behavior that generates a desirable outcome. And this is basically the monkey see, monkey do type of thing. It's a lot of imitating. And then there's insight. Animals exposed to a new situation without any prior relevant experience perform behavior that generates a desirable outcome. And for an example, a bear, their honey isn't located in the same area because not all bees have their nests the same height in the same tree. So bears have to figure out a new way in different situations how to get to their honey. And in this case, the bear's honey was in the bucket, so he had to figure out a different way to get to it.